Welcome everyone, friends, family, supporters, and community to the 2021 Blossoming Anew fundraising gala for the Bodhi Manda Zen Center. My name is Kosan, and I'm very glad that you are here. So I first came to Bodhi in 1982. I was a college student at the time at the University of New Mexico, and I had seen an advertisement at the Purple Hippo coffee shop for a groovy meditation weekend up in Jemez Springs, which sounded lovely. And there were going to be hot springs and it was going to be a wonderful time. So I ended up at the Bodhi having no idea what I was walking into. And it was definitely not groovy. And I actually left Saturday morning of the meditation retreat because there were all of these people running around in black robes, and I had no background to understand what I was seeing. I met Hosen at the time, and we really hit it off. And she thought it was funny that I was surprised by the setting that I found myself in because I hadn't done my homework. She said that I was welcome to leave as long as I came back. And of course, I agreed to that just to get out of there. But the next weekend, I was back and I had done some reading in the intervening week. I began doing session and my friendship with Hosen deepened over the years. I initially came into Zen practice to learn to control or to deal with anger. I had a lot of anger and fear, and I found that the structure of Zen Buddhism really forced me to deal with the underlying components of my issues with fear and anger. There are some really prominent features of Buddhism that helped me during the time that I felt swamped by the diagnosis of my illness. I was a marble sculptor before I was diagnosed. And the way that we knew that I was sick was that I was unable to carry 150-pound sculptures anymore. Literally, that's what happened because I have limb onset ALS, which is extremely rare in women and in the ALS community. So I was frightened by the changes that I saw in my life. And when we finally figured out what the problem was, I was devastated because I had, like everyone else, spent so much time thinking about, all these big plans I had, and I had a grandchild on the way. I had a very full dream life about my final years, at which I thought were going to be plentiful. And all of a sudden, it was not to be the case. I found that non-attachment was huge for me. I love the work that Thich Nhat Hanh has done with non-attachment, meaning that you are not attached to things. You are not attached to them through your perception. So you love as deeply, you participate as fully in your life and the life of those around you, but you are not attached to an outcome. You have not predetermined what you think should happen. You flow with the situation as it presents itself. The second thing that really was absolutely vital to my growth was the concept of impermanence and staying within the moment. Whatever the moment gives to you is all you have. So you can either hate it or love it, but it's still going to be the moment that it is. And that has caused me or enabled me to live in a very joyful way and get excited, get involved, and actually was the reason that I began painting. I thought, this crazy disease has not stopped me from being able to eat and talk and breathe. So my muscles in my neck and shoulders are still strong. Why not try something I've never tried before? So that's how I started painting, holding the brush in my mouth. And so it's been a really joyful evolution, actually, into something I never dreamed I would be doing. I think it's Carlos Castaneda that says, and I will quote this wrong, but I'm going to try anyway. You can either be positive or negative. The amount of energy is the same. The fact is, I will never get this moment again. To embrace this moment, ostensibly with my hair on fire, to me, it has nothing to do with anything external. It has to do with my choice. And I think the thing that is exciting to me these days is that people are inspired by what I do, which is all I ever wanted anyway. When I was a teacher, that's what I did. I was a special ed teacher, and my goal was to inspire the children that everybody had told could not move forward and embrace a life of their own making because of whatever issues they had. My goal was to show them that with a whole lot of hard work, they could do exactly that. Because if I can get the ideas and thoughts and shoulds and have tos out of my head, clearly see what's happening right here in front of me and what the possibilities are, there's nothing but a joyful life here. There's nothing but an inspiring life here. And there will never be anything like this again. So it's time to embrace it and write it to the end. Usually the images that I choose are very personal. Normally I don't do commission work, but they're important images because they are of friends. Or for instance, the painting of Bodhidharma is a great example. That's been an image I've loved my entire life. So I am in my wheelchair. I can't use my arms, but I can move myself with my feet. And so I can get at different angles. We have an easel set up. What I work with are some extremely intricate and difficult pieces. And I choose the image and then it's reproduced onto a canvas. The beauty of this is that you can recreate any image you would like. So it's very personal and they are very difficult. So my wife is the one usually who helps me change out brushes or paints, but I will pick a color and work with that color. And very much like when I used to carve marble, I am meditating the entire time I'm painting. I've noticed that it's a very contemplative activity for me, and it's very much actually like sitting zazen. You know, when you start zazen, you kind of get yourself a little bit settled down, your ideas are racing through your head, you're kind of involved in the outward appearance of things, and you settle down and you begin to kind of get into your meditation. And there comes a point, at least for me, where I get really bored and and I'm looking for something, you know, like, oh, I wonder how much longer this is going to go on. Paintings for me are like that too. It's funny. I am excited to start one and I'm going along just fine. And then there comes a point when I'm just ready for it to be over. I'm done. I'm all those things. And so like with Zazen, you keep sitting, you keep focusing, you keep staying present, and suddenly you're done. And it's an amazing picture. And all these disparate components have come together into this thing of beauty. So it really is a lot of my sitting time now is spent in painting. I think what I would like people to take from art that I do or things that I say is that there's no other moment but now. This is an amazing moment of time because it's your moment in time. And to be clear and joyful and help the people around you and inspire people is all any of us could ever do in this lifetime anyway. I think it's so important, especially in this day and age, to be what you are in the fullness of who you are for the people around you, your community, your family, the people who look to you, I should say. It's now more important than ever for us to dive deep into our practice and become the fullness of who we are so that we can benefit those around us.